Hello, good people. I know it's been a minute since I've uploaded an actual video, and I will say probably the next several videos I post will kind of be out of order because I've just been collecting stuff and I haven't really been taking out the time to do thorough edits, mainly because I recently got married. Yay. And as you might have seen from the shorts, if you're watching or whatever, but yeah, I recently got married, and um, it it was like a lot as far as we got married in February, and as you all know, that someone broke into our house in February, and so it was just like a lot of things dealing with that, and then I went back to the U.S. because I had some medical things to check up on. It's really windy. I hope it's not distorting my sound. Ooh. But yeah, I needed to do some things with my insurance, and then I had to update my name, so I had to get my my new passport and change my name on my bank accounts and all that stuff. So I spent like about 2 months back in the US, and I am now back in Tanzania, and I am actually in my husband's village. So oh, okay, so I will be back. They have just killed a goat, and I have skinned it, and they are getting ready to drink the blood, which is something that the Masai culture do. I'm coming. It's like, come on. Okay, so I'll be right back.
Yeah.
Was that the liver? The liver, the spleen, the intestines.
No, Lalas do nyabare lele.
Ji top bereda.
Ihari di yele mo.
Men yelle.
Tudungo di.
Tudungo don carlinalo.
Udah main sampai hande. Jadi ana hara.
Tudungo don nalo na da wasa.
Udah mo.
Ni na.
Ah, kirim.
Lu balu lu ndama.
Yebe be.
Ora dulu na balu turna yobo. Mo do am di boro na. Ni ne ko na gitu. Ore ko ndo mo no ne ni da ko.
Dan jaman jangan asal aku.
Iya.
Ya wae.
Ya itu dah ada do ilo sarge.
Lolo. Yan ko.
Ada lagi nyok. Ada nyok.
No.
Dia lah taruh aja itu.
Ini dia nyata.
Nah,
Yana
jangan
ja
saya.
ba. Yan.
Jadi oguta.
Dogo di mera sida.
Bebe biang boga.
Maybe.
And you are slurping it up too.
No dia.
I can't. Oh, Prana.
What? Hey, bang.
Oh, and then look at the little chicks. And they are digging up something. I don't know what. Oh, okay.
Ora era bawanya.
No gogo, merah jadinya mal no gogo.
Yo.
Ada menjajan dulu.
Hey, why are you drinking it all? Why are you drinking it all? Just trying to put some in the cup.
Ora tayan tanai.
Mara vanya mara muru.
Nara bayan ko ara muru. Ni be yolo ni de.
Ya odigi.
Ai be yolo de sararo.
Ngai.
Usa de.
Hey,
Iya kagak baraga sir.
Oh,
Wanna try some?
no, thank you. I am not ready. No, I'm not ready. I am not ready. They're trying to get me to taste, and I am not ready for this. Okay, put here.
Lagi ada bal. Binya tak ada.
It tastes like blood. Tastes very irony. Okay, I go back here. Okay. Watch out for the spiders. But you know, it tastes like iron, you know, like the metal iron. You know, sometimes when you floss your teeth or whatever, or if you bite your tongue or your cheek and you taste the blood, that's exactly what it tastes like. Mind you, I will not be slurping it up like they were doing. I will not be doing that. But at least I tasted it and we know what it is. So back to what I was talking about, which yeah, so changing my name, getting my new passport. And let me tell y'all, you know how some people, and this is their experience, so I'm not going to take away from their experience, but from the time I submitted my passport application, or shall I say from the time they received it to the time it was in my hand was 7 days. It only took 7 days for them to process the application and mail it back to me. 7 days. And I was going to expedite it because I knew I needed to have it back because my flight was round trip. So I needed to have my passport back before I left. So I was going to expedite it, pay the extra money. I don't know if it was an extra $60 or $90 to have it expedited. And I said, you know what? Let me just activate my faith and trust that it'll be back in time. And the woman at the passport where I had to pay, she stood in agreement with me. And lo and behold, 1 week, 7 days. So, you know, sometimes you can't go by what other people say or what's being reported or whatever. You just have to go by your own experience. And that was mine. So it took 7 days. But anyways, I am back, as you can see, back in Tanzania, and where we are is probably like 6 hours south of Arusha, 6 hours north of Dar es Salaam if you look on a map, and we're about eight hours away from Zanzibar. But in order to get to Zanzibar from here, we have to either take the ferry or take a flight. Oh, the sun. I just feel like I need to move away from the sun. Okay, let me face this way. So life has been interesting. Today is my first full day here in the village. Oh my gosh. Oh, there's a beautiful mountain right here. I'm going to insert some clips from when we got here yesterday. The sunset was amazing with the mountains in the backdrop. Oh my gosh. Y'all see those mountains back there? It's beautiful, isn't it? And to see the sunset right here. Oh, and there's the moon. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So, you all do not really know me, right? Or, know a lot about my likes and dislikes, but camping and outdoors is not my thing. It's not my thing at all. When I was younger, I was in the Girl Scouts. I think I was a brownie. because I remember my uniform was brown, but I was part of the Girl Scouts, and we went on a camping trip somewhere in Texas. And okay, the sun is overcast now. Somewhere in Texas, and this campground, for whatever reason, was infested with ticks. We did not know it at the time, but this girl, I don't know why, she was wearing a trash bag, but she had on this black trash bag and she was just wearing it over her uniform. I don't know why, but on her back was like this big tick. And we were like, oh my gosh. But anyways, we just thought it was because of the trash bag. Who knows? Anyways, that morning we were being woken up because everyone had ticks on them. My mom was like, okay, I'm taking my daughter home. And my friend, she was like, we're going home. We're not staying the rest of the weekend. We're going home. And so when we got home, and my mom, I took a bath, and my mom checked me out. And sure enough, I had a tick in my love below. Yep, in my cooch was a tick. So that kind of traumatized me. Plus, I don't like spiders at all. But I will tell you, because I've seen so many here, I haven't seen like humongous ones. I think I saw my biggest spider ever was when we used to live in Japan, and I think that's where I got my arachnophobia from. But I don't like to see any size spider. I haven't seen super big ones here, thank God, because it would be crazy. But anyways, so I am not really an outdoors person, because I'm always feeling webs on me, and when I have a web, I go crazy. I'm like, so I don't really like to be outdoors, but I like the look of outdoors. Just to hear nature, hear the wind blowing in the trees, the rustling of the leaves, just the different things you see in nature. You stay away with your bloody hands. So I'm sorry, the wind is making my eyes water. And it's always the left one. But anyways, so I like the feel of nature. I'll run on a treadmill, but I would prefer to run outside. I feel like my legs enjoy being pushed on concrete a lot more, and then just to feel the wind. And I love to run in the rain. I love rain. It just makes me feel like I'm a real runner when I'm in the rain. So anyways, I love those kind of things. But to be out in nature and to just, to be walking in all of this, ducking my head under trees and stuff, because these are, the paths, and then you have to like go under trees and whatnot. That's really not my thing. But somehow, some way, I married someone whose life is this, for the most part. And I'll show some more clips, but if you Google Masai life, you'll see, they live in huts made of elephant dung and, tree branches and straw and stuff. There are goats and cows and chickens and roosters and all kinds of things out here. They'll have hyenas. I don't think they see lions in this exact spot, but you may get a random lion. You may get a giraffe or some elephants, So this is the true definition of nature. But yeah, our house is not, it's made of concrete and bricks, because my husband, he's like, I will make this for you, because he knows how I am, and I don't like gaps in doors and windows, because that allows my favorite creature, the spiders, as they say in Swahili, bui bui, to make their way in the house. But anyways, my life has just been so different ever since my first trip here to Tanzania, which was in 2024. I think I landed May 16th. May 16th in the morning is when I landed here. I was supposed to get here on the 15th, but all the flight delays I had and rerouted my whole itinerary. I got here on the 16th, and on the 17th, around 4 in the afternoon, I met my now husband. And so I just continue to travel back here, and for us to continue getting to know each other, and to build our relationship. And he told me, so we met on my second day, and on the fourth day, my fourth day here, so my second day having met him, he presented me with a gift that he made, which was this bracelet, the one on the top that says jewels, and it's heart, Tanzania flag, and on the other side is American flag. But he made it for me. The other two he had made, but that one he made for me, and he put it on my wrist on that second morning having met him. He walked to my resort and he was like, "Give me your hand." And and he placed it on my wrist, and I have not taken it off. May of this year, 2026, made 2 years having known each other, and it's been on my wrist for 2 years. So, when they say when love comes in, it changes you, changes your life, and God is my witness. This has really changed so much about my life, my family's life, because in a previous video, I explained that my parents, they came to visit in 2025 when I was here for 3 months, and they came to visit the last 2 weeks, which my birthday fell on. And so we went to, we were in Zanzibar, then we flew to the mainland with my guy, and then we went on a 5-day safari. And when we flew back together to Florida, my parents were like, guess what? They sat me down, and I thought, they said, "Julia, when you have a minute, we want to talk with you." And I thought it was going to be about my guy, and they'd be like, but it was the opposite. They were like, "We want to sell the house and move somewhere." But it just shook their lives up in such a way that they wanted to make changes, and it's shaken up my life to where pretty much everything has changed. My living environment has changed, my name has changed, my life has changed, and I'm very grateful. This is not something that I would have planned. I've always wanted to get married, but at some point I said, if it happens, it happens. When it happens, it will happen. And I just kind of gave it up and, really focused on my health, because I was having some health challenges. And I'll talk about that in another video. But I was having some health challenges after receiving the COVID vaccine. So for almost 2 years, I was dealing with that. And then I just said, you know what? My health is much better. And I said, I want to travel somewhere where I need a passport. And the friend at the time who I traveled with, her and another one of her friends, her and I chose Zanzibar. I kind of at the last minute, because we didn't want, because of my situation with the vaccine, with COVID vaccine, I didn't want any more vaccinations. And, the CDC made recommendations to get, like yellow fever, typhoid, MMR, and all these other things. And so I was like, I think I want to hold off on getting vaccinations. So where can we go where we don't need one? And so we were going to go to Costa Rica. So we started watching YouTube videos on Costa Rica, what to do there. And then we were just kind of like, let's just go to Zanzibar. Let's go to Africa. Let's go. Because neither one of us had been on the continent yet. So it was set. We made our plans, And I think maybe within a matter of, it was less than a month, I think we got our flights and we made our way here. And I'm so grateful that I took that chance of getting the vaccinations. I had like a little bit of a reaction to the yellow fever. But other than that, I was fine. Got on the plane, because I said I wanted to go somewhere where we needed passports. And just everything has changed. So I wasn't focused on meeting someone. And even when he and I met, I was kind of like, first of all, I didn't come to Africa to get married or to make no love connection. I'd heard all these stories of, people traveling to Africa and being, swindled or, swept up with love. And, it turned out to be something different. And, you hear all these stories and so, but I didn't really want to meet a foreigner and, have this language barrier and all this stuff. But once again, when love steps in, and as I truly believe, when God has his hand in it, there's nothing to worry about, no need to worry, because everything has just been beautiful. We've had, holes based on the language barrier and us not being in the same place to really get to know each other, but just having to use video chat and WhatsApp messages and all that stuff, and my occasional visit here. But it's been beautiful. It's been beautiful, better than any relationship I've ever been in. And it's so crazy because we don't have as much of a language barrier now, but even with that, our communication is something unmatched. I feel like he can read my mind because he'll say something that I'm thinking exact word at the exact time, and I'll do the same for him. And so it's just very interesting. But anyways, I'm just talking because I haven't talked to you guys in a while. And yeah, so I don't know how long I'm going to be here, but I did say I'm not going back to the USA without him. So we're going to stay here as long as it takes for his visa and everything to be approved. I know that our current administration in the US has kind of put a hold on Tanzanians obtaining visas, but where there's a will, there's a way. And so yeah, hopefully we'll have all of our stuff very soon and we can travel to the US together, so I can get some more of my stuff. But that's another thing. Let me just say that really quick. My travels here, and even right before I came, I started to feel like I wanted to live a more minimal lifestyle. I think because as we were packing, and let me say this also really quick. I grew up in the military, so I'm used to moving every few years, packing and all that stuff. And so still outside of, once my dad retired, we still have a tendency to move every few years and start over, or, I'll move every few years. My parents will move. So there's always consistent movement. But as of late, when I would pack up, I was just like, why do I have all this stuff? Why do I have all these hair products? And why do I have all this, these clothes? I'll try to put a picture here, but I have clothes that were just under my bed that I hadn't touched in years. And I'm like, why am I taking this stuff from place to place to place? So when I had gone to Portugal to a writing retreat in 2024, my bags did not make it. So for 5 days, I didn't have any of my stuff, just my one little carry-on bag, because I just had that and my suitcase, and my suitcase didn't make it. So I didn't have a change of clothes. I didn't have a change of underwear. I didn't have nothing in that bag, but maybe a couple of pads, for my cycle, and, just a couple of things like that. So I was without my stuff for 5 days, and the women who were part of this retreat I had never met in person. Only one I had communicated with, because we were part of a writing community. But to just not have my stuff, and people were donating me stuff, and we were able to go to a store for me to get some things, but to sit there and wash my underwear out every night, and hang them up to dry and things like that, I just said, I didn't need all this stuff. And so when I finally got my bags, I had to go to the airport when our retreat ended, but I had chosen to stay like 2 extra days. So my stuff was at the airport, got to the airport, got my stuff. And do you know, when I got my luggage, I didn't even know what to do. I'm sitting there opening this luggage and I'm like, well, what do I put on? I had so many options, just so much to deal with and consider that I didn't have to consider when I didn't have my things. So when I returned to the US, I said, you know what? Let me start going through my stuff. And sure enough, I got rid of a whole bunch of stuff. And so coming here now, and just seeing how, the women live, they just have, their shukas. They don't have to think about what to put on each day. The men have their shukas, and it's like, you don't have to think about stuff. And my husband will say, why do you have so much stuff? And I'm like, that's a very good question. So I'm learning how to live with a lot less. And thankfully back at home, because we had sold our home, we sold pretty much all of our stuff. So really all that I have there are some clothes and books, and some more hair products. But I'm just really going to, after coming here this time and having a lot of stuff, like I was bringing seasonings and things like that to, take up space. But just to realize, Julia, you don't need this much. So I'm glad to have this experience, and I don't wear makeup anymore. I just wear like lip gloss. So the commercialism that I used to deal with, just always buying products, buying this and buying that, I don't need it. And it's like, what's the point in spending my money on all that when I can only wear one lipstick at a time, one eyeshadow at a time, one this, one that. Oh, look at the lady moving that's a donkey. I don't know if you can see, but it's just, life is just so different here. But yeah. So yeah, just learning to live with a lot less is what I'm here for. Plus you save a lot of money. You save a lot of money. As someone who I used to be a licensed esthetician, and so I was constantly buying products and products and products and products, and I just donated so much of that stuff because what is it all for? I don't need it. Sometimes I wanted it, but a lot of times I just bought it because. So other than that, I'm really learning to live with a lot less and just enjoy what I have, and really take part of this life. The one thing, last night was my first night staying here, and here we don't have running water, we don't have electricity. So this is my bathroom. Just squat right here. This is what we use, not this space in particular, but over, where our home is, and we just go out back and take a squat. I'm like, oh my gosh, the stuff that I never thought I would do, and me not being a nature person, just squatting in the open earth. That's taking some getting used to, but guess what? I did it. I did it, and I had to get up at night because I have an overactive bladder, so I had to get up a couple of times, but I'm just amazed. Brush my teeth outside, we use a bottle of water and brush our teeth and wash your face and bathe. We just use a bucket of water, They heat it up for us. They put it on the fire, and so it's hot water, but it's really cold here right now and windy, as you can see and probably hear. But just the bare minimum. And guess what? I'm thriving. I'm happy. It's an experience, and it really just teaches you to appreciate what you have, appreciate the life that you have, because everyone doesn't have the same life, the same experience, the same opportunities and everything. So just wherever you are, appreciate where you are and what you have. And if I can leave you with anything, it's just that, appreciate your life, appreciate what you have, and the rest will come. Got some grass and stuff, but yeah, thank y'all for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye. I don't know if y'all can see the little peak of a mountain back there, but oh, it's so beautiful.